What's up, guys? I'm Jason, aka Captain Nasty. Welcome to Anchored in Muscle Radio, episode 10. Now, today, guys, we're doing it live here in the Anchored in Muscle studios here in the gym. I'm going to be bringing my man Hank Flippo in side by side. We're going to do a little bit of a interview. We're going to talk all about his story, how he come to meet me, what we did along his journey. Because let's be honest, he has done a huge thing. He's lost over 80 pounds, had a little bit of a trip up and got off like we all do. That's what happens. That's just what happens to all of us guys. And, now he's back on track, and I want to get him in here. And take him just a minute to get in here. Now, give me a like, Hank, when you get in here. Everyone, real quick, as I wait to get Hank in here, guys, if you want to see this video, if you want to see more videos, we need you to like the video. We need you to share the videos. We really need you to do that for us, guys. Let me see if I can invite Hank in here. So welcome in, Hank. I know that there's going to be a little bit of a delay. We have a few guys in here right now. What I'm trying to tell everyone is, if you guys want to see more of our videos, if you want us to help us out, support what we do, we need you to give us a thumbs up. We need you to share the live feed. So, okay, Hank, the show must go on. We're going to do the best we can. And, brother, we have come so far. You came so far. I really wanted to get you on here because, one thing that I continue to hear all the time, everyone sees your videos that you post in our Facebook group. Everyone hears your words. And I hear it all the time, much less me telling you what an inspiration you are. Usually you're telling me that I help you, and I'm telling you right back that you inspire me more than you ever could. So Hank, why don't you just come in here and let everybody know. Now, remember, you're speaking to a big audience because a lot of people are going to hear this afterwards on the playback. So let everybody know a little bit about your background, where you come from, what your job is, and how you and I come to meet.
Yeah, I don't know. I started in the towing industry when I was about 22, 23, and just got in the wheelhouse pretty quick after that. And by the time I was 30, I was heavy, and at I guess back in '01, I was pulled off the boat because my triglycerides was real high. It's like spiked up like 1,700 and stuff, and they pulled me off the boat for about a week, and I got them down to about 1,000, so they called that good and put me back on there and stuff. But I've been battling, weight loss, and stuff for many years. Just it got to the point the older I got, I was, just kind of felt, well, I'm too old to do anything about it now. I'm too old to lift weights. I'm just stuck. Here I am, and kind of deal, and just was kind of grew to accept, my fate, I guess, And
Yeah, and how were you feeling? Were you feeling worse and worse all along? You just really probably did. It kind of crept up on you too, I bet. And one thing, guys, now if I look away from you, Hank, I'm looking over here at my computer because I want to catch it if we have any questions come in for you.
okay.
So did you notice yourself over time, or just like it all hit you all at one time?
It how I felt wasn't really what got me to do anything. I mean, um, after I started exercising, that's when I noticed how bad I had felt previously, but I had lost a couple of good friends beginning of last year, and one of them was just a couple years older than me. And, and that's what kind of, got me thinking, hey, I need to do something. And doctors have been telling me for the last 15 years I was a walking heart attack and was going to have one time I'm 50, and turned 48 this year. And then I had last year, I had a couple buddies die. One of them died of a heart attack on the boat, and that just kind of got me
Actually,
really.
on the boat.
Yeah, yeah, he died
He
on the
actually
boat.
passed on board the boat.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
and so what all was your doctors telling you along the way? Because let's not forget, one aspect of what we do, you've heard this from me a million times, but maybe the other guys haven't, because that's exactly why we bring you on, because you and I, we've had this journey. It's been a long journey. We've been working together very closely for a long time. We've spoken on the phone, sometimes 2, 3 times a day over a long period of time. So what were your doctors?
The doctors were telling me that, pretty much I was a walking heart attack. My triglycerides were out of sight. My blood pressure was 145 in the mid 90s on a good day. My my cholesterol was 230 to 240, on a good day, and it just, I was just everything. I couldn't move hardly. I didn't even tie my shoes. I'd just slip them on and off because I couldn't hold my breath long enough to tie my damn shoes and stuff, and it was pretty bad. And I got a bad knee, and it hurt all the time. And, just I couldn't, I'd walk up to the wheelhouse and it'd take me 2 or 3 minutes just to be able to catch my breath, just be able to make watch changes and stuff.
Now, now that's actually a good perspective because that's exactly, maybe I cut out on you, but what I'm trying to get across to everyone is that one of the biggest messages from me is that I'm trying to help these guys out because I don't want them off the boat. I don't want them to fail their physicals. I don't want them to be without a livelihood, to take care of their families back home. So what all had you tried before you and I, met each other?
Everything. I was worse than any woman about trying fad diets and stuff. I mean, I spent a ton of money searching for that quick fix. I didn't want to put in the work. I didn't want to put in the effort. I wanted everything overnight. I did shots and the no cholesterol, no carb diet, no fat diet, the Mediterranean diet, just I did everything and literally just everything, and spent tons and tons of money, took all kinds of pills that probably didn't do anything or wasn't good for me. And just, I'd lose some weight and then it would just, come back and gain some more, and I just, nothing I did was right, but the reason why none of that stuff really worked either because I wasn't doing anything for it. I wasn't putting in the work for it. There is no magic pill for it.
Exactly. And did you find yourself like switching out? Because that's one of the bigger problems that I see. And I totally get it. I totally understand. You maybe try something 1 month, maybe 2 months, and you don't get out of it what you're hoping. And maybe it's even a too high of an expectation because we hear all these marketing things out here, man. We've heard all this shit. You lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks and your life is perfect. So did you have some of that going on too, that maybe you just switched it out so much? Because that's what I keep trying to coach everybody against.
Yeah, I would definitely, or I'd lose 30 pounds and be like, oh, that's good enough for a little bit. I'll coast right here. And then just, and the weight would start coming back on me and stuff, but it's, I just, kind of like you're saying, I guess I never stuck with anything very long. Uh, but, I would, 2, 3, 4 months. And then, like I said, well, I get to a certain weight level. That's good enough. I'm tired, go do something else. And, I got it from here on out, and it just, the weight would just come back and just nothing would stay, stay off. And,
Right.
and it wasn't getting healthier either. My blood work was still bad. That's the biggest thing. My blood work stayed bad. It never got better,
And I think
that,
whenever you and I met, that was one of your main concerns. You told me very early on, I've got young children, I've got daughters. I want to be around to walk them down the aisle. I want to be able to play with them, and I want to be here for them. I mean, that was one of the bigger reasons for you.
that was my main reason. And actually, that, my kids and my wife is, they say you're supposed to do, got to do it for yourself and all that stuff. But what got me
Right.
motivated in the beginning was my wife and children. And, because, I didn't want to die at 50 or 55 and, I want to be around a little bit. I'll be 63 when my baby girl graduates. And, I want to be around for that and walk her down the aisle. And the way I was headed, I wasn't going to make it. And so, yeah, health was the number one issue, or the number one reason for me, for my family.
Now, everybody has to have a very strong why. And I think that there couldn't be a more powerful why than to make a change and to stick with it than your family. And that's just like the other message we were just talking about, your livelihood, because your family depends on your livelihood. Now, Hank, when you and I originally, when you came across me, I don't remember exactly because man, we get so busy, we do so many things. Now, did somebody point us out to you, or you just came across our page? Or I remember our first conversation very vividly, but how'd you end up coming across me? Because we're not going to name any names because I remember that you had come across one of these Insta famous and YouTube famous people, and maybe we will be one day. But here's the thing: one thing about us is if it's going to be a supplement, it's going to be a quality supplement. But number one, it's all about the work and the nutrition. Okay, and staying there with you, being there for you the entire way, whatever it takes. So let everybody know a little bit about that situation. We don't want to throw no names out there, no
Right.
lawsuits or any shit like that.
Yeah,
But
right.
tell us
Don't
about
use
that
these some
situation.
bitches, but
Yeah.
no, I can't say anything. Even if we was going to name names, I can't say anything bad about them because they
Mm-hmm.
are what got me started. I got on. I started researching, stuff for older guys to do. I got a bad knee. I
Mm-hmm.
was way out of shape. I knew I couldn't just jump in the gym with 20-year-olds and do something with them. And I found this ad, and it chained over older people and all that. And of course, they had all these pills for sale. And I don't know. I was probably spent what was it, close $500-600, buying the
Mm-hmm.
videotapes and all that, and like I said, it got me moving, got me motivated. And then my relief captain on the boat, he was the one that pointed me to you. He said, "Man," he said, "this really ain't gonna help you any. You need to talk to this guy." And anyway, and so he pointed me in your direction, and I gave you a call, and been been a wrap since.
Remind me, how long has that been? A little bit over a year now, hasn't it?
Yeah, because I started.
Was it
I
June or
started.
July?
I started. Yeah, July of last year. Then
Yep.
we met right at the beginning of August of
And I
last
bet
year.
I bet I shocked the shit out of you when I said, "Wait a minute, send me how much food you've been actually eating." And I said, "You're not eating enough. We need to eat a lot more food."
Yeah, yeah. That. Yeah, because at the time I was eating what, like 1,200 to 1,300 calories is all I was eating, and hadn't lost hardly
I want
anything.
to say I want to, what were you weighing at that time? 330?
Yeah,
330 pounds. Now, guys, for anyone that's still on here watching, I think we still have 5 people in here, but it's going to get a lot more on the rebroadcast. I believe it was 1,100 calories a day that you were actually eating at 330 pounds. And I was like, hey, man, if we want to get this moving, we need to go up in calories. We need to
right.
reverse diet. So talk to everybody about your reaction to that. Let them know, because there's other people out there, and you tell them, they're like, how in the hell am I supposed to lose weight? And you're wanting me to eat more than I've probably ever ate before.
Yeah, and yeah, the increase was kind of different because I wasn't expecting that, and everything you started telling me, I was like, no, I can't eat no more, I'm not losing now, it didn't make sense to
Mm-hmm.
me, but I trusted you, and you know, I just kind of, just let you put me underneath your wing and let's roll with it, and I did everything you told me to do, and I think we stepped it up like in 200 or 250 calorie
Exactly
increments,
right. For everybody out there, what we were doing is we were doing a reverse diet with Hank. What we wanted to do is we wanted to get Hank from his 1,100 calories per day. We wanted to work him up in a systematic fashion. So what we were doing is we were increasing his calories about every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, everyone's different. You have to watch the signs. You have to watch your body. So what we would do is right away we increase those calories. Of course, we're choosing the right foods. We're making the better choices of foods. We're taking out those foods you shouldn't eat, and we're adding in the complex carbohydrates, the lean proteins, and the healthy fats, and of course the supplements, to fill in any gaps to where, if you couldn't eat, if you couldn't have a meal, if you didn't have time. And we were going to reverse diet up to a point to where, and I even told you, I think this was probably a little bit counterintuitive, that I was expecting you to lose weight while we were constantly increasing calories and training. So the plan for Hank, everybody, was to increase his calories up to a point to where if we got weight loss, which we did really quickly, but it's not a set in stone thing. You're going to have ups, you're going to have good weeks, good days, bad days, but we're going to increase his calories as high as we possibly could until we get to a point where you start putting on weight consistently, and then and then we would begin a diet, right? And we started you off on a full body workout routine, did we not?
Yeah, we did, and
Okay.
Yeah, we stayed on
tell
that.
everybody a little bit. Tell everybody a little bit about that journey because that's what I want to get across to everybody. I want everybody to understand that it's not an easy thing. It's a long path. And you have just been a trooper. I mean, you put in the work. You've been an inspiration to everybody. So let us share your story, brother. That's what I'm trying to get across to everybody.
Well, we, like I said, we stepped it up, a little bit, and the whole time, you remember, I was, finally got into something that I believed in would work because it all made
Mm-hmm.
sense. That, and you tell me, well, I can still have, my carbs that I absolutely love. I can still have my fat. You still can have everything. You just got to make the right choices and in moderation.
That's right.
And so
Keep
I
the
was
numbers right.
right, and I was really on board with this because I could still have a little bit of taters over here, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
but I was wanting to, just go, 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 and you just kept pulling back, and you said you're not ready, you got to get your calories up, before we start this, and then finally, we got up to about 2,600, I think,
I think it
and
was
I think
26 or 2,700 calories.
yeah, and I think we actually could have went higher, but I think
Yeah.
you just got tired of holding me back, so
Yeah, you
so
were
we
ready, man. You
yeah.
Hank and everybody. Hank was like, he was, when we're gonna die for real? When are we gonna die for real? And I'm like, look, we're trying to put as much food into your body as humanly possible, as many calories per day before we start taking anything away. Because the last thing that you want to do is take food away. Okay, you there at some point, you have tools in the tool belt, you have cards in the deck to play, but you want to begin your diet on as many calories in your day as possible. So go ahead. I didn't mean to stop you there.
But yeah, and that's once you drop the green flag, so to speak, we took off, and we held that for I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we started
Yep.
coming down. And when we got down to about 2,300 calories, man, it just we lost like 15 pounds, just boom, and then I
Right,
stall out.
and it wasn't steady, right? It's not
No,
steady. It's not every single day I'm losing weight. For anyone out there listening, maybe you've seen some of my posts. A reasonable expectation without losing muscle. Again, guys, this is anchored in muscle, and this is the truth. Muscle is what burns calories. It is the muscle that's going to get you lean and keep you lean. So, a reasonable expectation would be anywhere from 1 to 3 pounds per week. And that's an average. It's not all going to happen. Hank can tell you right now, there were weeks that he would be a little bit nervous. And then, all of a sudden out of nowhere, 5 pounds just goes away.
yeah, yeah. We that one time the longest stall I had was about 6 weeks. We and I'd
Mm-hmm.
gain like 2 or 3 pounds and go back to the original number, gain like 2 or 3 pounds and go back down. And but I held that stall for like 6 weeks. But when we finally broke out of that stall, that was when I dropped like 5 pounds, and like the next week I dropped like another four, and by the time
Mm-hmm.
I got off the boat, I'd lost like 18, 20 pounds in a 4 week period. Or no, maybe not that, maybe about 15 pounds in about a 4 week period. But
But also along that journey, though, a lot of that is remember we had to play with your veggie intake. Your
mhm.
fiber get too high, you get a little stopped up. No, we're not trying to be gross, guys. That's just the way it is. If you start getting backed up, that's weight that you're not losing. And also, all those we didn't hold it on purpose. The whole point was all other signs were good. Only negative sign was that the number on the scale wasn't going down. You were
Right.
having more energy, you were getting stronger, you were having more endurance, the whole 9 yards. So what we always try to tell everybody is don't only focus on that fucking scale. Okay, that's going to lead you awry because a lot of times you may be putting on muscle and losing fat at the same time, and the scale's a wash. You could even have a situation where the scale will go up and you're actually losing fat. How did your clothes fit? You're taking up notches on the belt, or is your bench press increasing, your squat increasing? And I'm sure you can tell them about that because the whole way we were getting those small victories along the way.
Yeah. Well, we just went through that last month. When I was on the boat, I dropped
Mm-hmm.
a few pounds, and then on the boat, I gained like 3 or 4 of them back, and I held it the whole trip. And I was getting, Jason, what am I doing
Right.
wrong? What the hell's going on here? And then I get home, and when I get home, I was able to put on my shorts that I couldn't wear, before I got on the boat. So I gotten smaller, my waist and my stomach, and got and grew a little bit of muscle in the process, and so Um,
Yeah,
you know, it
exactly. I
never.
was losing you just a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was just saying, even as long as me and you've been doing this, I still struggle with that. Looking at that damn scale, and when it don't move, I get frustrated or get anxious. And I start second guessing myself. What am I doing wrong? But when I got home, I was able to put on my shorts that I couldn't wear and all that stuff. So even though
Yeah,
I didn't lose any weight last month, I was able to wear different clothes.
yeah, a little bit. I don't know about everyone else. Everybody let me know because I'm watching the feed. Some of that stuff was a little bit garbled. I guess we dropped signal a little bit. But what you were talking about is that even today, all along, I believe what you were trying to tell us is that you were always kind of a slave to the scale.
Yeah.
And you actually did, and I'm glad you said that because you have been so open all the way in our group that most people think that that's only a woman thing, and it's really not. It's a guy thing. It's across the board. People will start watching that scale, and if that scale's not moving, they're freaking out, and they'll just throw their hands in the air, or they want to swap to something else. But there's so many other factors that you have to watch along the way.
Yeah, and yeah, and um, yeah, I'm probably more, I got a lot of woman hormones in me, I guess, because,
I
I,
wouldn't say that, man. You're a pretty tough
you know,
guy.
I'm pretty emotional fella, so it don't surprise me none. I just, I don't know. To me, that's just a number that I know that I can,
Right.
that I go by, and I know I'm not supposed to. And I was going back through my notes tonight, when I first
Mhm.
started, I measured myself and, my arms, my chest, my waist, and all that. And I had just done it before I got off the boat, last week. And I've grown in just like my biceps in the past year. I've grown in 2.5 inches in my biceps. I've lost, shoot, right like 6 inches, 7 inches, or something like that in my waist, and so it's
Yeah,
a pretty big number, and you don't realize it until you go back. So write your
exactly
stuff
right.
down and measure yourself and keep it for even like a year and a half later, because I
Exactly.
didn't realize how much I've grown, a year ago, and so and it really helps.
I mean, well, it helps to keep you on track to make it keeps you accountable, and it's also something else you can hold in your hand. You can look at that can you can say, well, look, I'm still making progress, even though the scale might not be going in the direction that I wanted to. I'm still making progress. So one thing I wanted to touch on because you know me, man, I get a little bit ADD, and I had a few really good points that I've had thought out all day. I really want to hit on the health aspect. Now, I wonder if you could talk to everybody about your numbers, your blood work numbers, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, and how much that turned around, and how your doctor saw all those things when you were, in this process and getting healthier and healthier along the way.
Yeah, last year, when I went and saw my doctor, she, I had, I guess was only in it like 3 months, I think, and I went in just the 3 months of us eating right and exercising and all that, everything, all my numbers were perfect. Um, my blood pressure was, I dropped down to like, I think it was like 116 or something over like 70. And today I went this today and it was 124 over 70. So, it's just that my triglycerides are normal. They're at 150 to 130 now. Blood pressure's great. Cholesterol is like at I think my cholesterol is like 165 now, so, and,
Mhm.
but it's
So
everything's
didn't
real
you
low
tell me
now.
at one time the doctor, like, didn't you tell me one time your doctor literally told you like you were a walking heart attack, and then in
Right.
comparison later on the doctor was tearing up because of how good your blood work numbers were and how proud she was of you for turning your life around. Tell that story because I think that's a great story.
Yeah. When we started talking about everything, and when I went back in there and I lost the weight and stuff, and she started seeing the blood work and all that, when it came back, when we started talking about it, and she got all excited, because I'd ask her some questions, and she's like, "Oh, you can do this and you can do that." How you get excited. She's doing the same thing, and she just kind of got. You can tell she got emotional, caught up in it. It wasn't just the doctor anymore. It's kind of like a friend thing, and but
Hmm.
she's a good lady. She really cares about her patients and stuff. But yeah, she got really excited, for both of us.
No, but I mean, you know what? That's a good thing, man. I mean, that's the story I keep wanting to get across to all these guys. I've worked with guys that are, type 2 diabetics that, have had to be, sit off the boat for 3 months, 4 months. I mean, we've seen the guys come and go, with the high blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, the adrenal fatigue, and all those things. And so many of these things can be taken care of. And I think one of the overriding factors is that, all that marketing out there, what they're taught is that you have to basically eat cardboard and eat nothing and cardio yourself to death. And that's just not true. That's not the way to go. That's not the right way to go at all. And if you can just, say even make 80% of your daily intake the good stuff, there's still room to have some of those foods that you like, and I can show you how to do it in the right amount. I can show you what time of day to do it, what day to do it, and things like that. It doesn't all have to be completely fucking miserable. I mean, it's not going to be fun all the time. If you like me, you just love to work out, but there's shit that I don't like to eat either.
Yeah, it's not. And the longer into it too, the more you start enjoying the healthier food. Me and my wife went out and ate yesterday, and and I sat there and stared at the menu, and I was like, okay, I got all this stuff over here, the good healthy stuff, and I got all the stuff I really like over here, and I sat there and just stared at the menu for I don't know 5-10 minutes. And my wife's like, you should decide on what you want. And I said, hell, I'm just still trying to decide whether it be good or bad. And and then I finally settled on. I had some blackened fish, with a little bit of sauce on it. So the sauce I knew wasn't too good, but it was grilled fish and over rice and broccoli, and and so I kind of went half and half on the good and fight evil there. But you just got to pick your battles sometimes.
But that is a hell of a lot better choice than what it would have been 2 years ago,
Oh yeah,
right?
chicken fried steak, 2 helpings of mashed
Oh yeah.
potatoes and gravy.
But hey, I mean, there's a place for that. I mean, you can have a little bit here and there, but where does it fit into your overall plan and your goal is what I tell everybody. So, Hank, it never fails. Of course, if you're going to talk about the good times, you have to talk about the bad times also. So I know you've had a few struggles, which we all do. So we have to talk about those struggles too, because if we didn't, then we would be leaving out how you can get back out of those struggles and get back on track as well and get back, moving towards your goal.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say like day to day it's not a struggle. I mean, it's like today. I missed got track on my dentist. I thought the dentist appointment was tomorrow. Got up early, and had my little pre-workout breakfast and was sitting right down my workout and had my workout clothes on. I was fixed to go walk out my shop and work out. My dentist called. Where you at? You're 20 minutes late. And so I had to run out the door and run to the dentist, and it kind of threw me off all day long. And I got back, the whole side of my mouth was hurting, and I didn't want to do nothing, I told my wife, I
Yeah.
just want to sit here, I think, and I kind of started feeling bad. Well, no, I got to get off my ass and go do it, and so I went and worked out. But once I got going, and I enjoyed it, I had a good workout. But
Yeah.
there's always going to be where you got to make yourself go do it one day, and there's some days that you're just ready, rip roaring to go, and other days you're not, but you still got to make in the effort. But and as far as the beginning of the year, I'd switched jobs, and they didn't have any weights on the boat. I was no longer captain, so I didn't have control of the groceries, and and it just kind of slowly stair step down. Over the course of about 4 or 5 months. I hung in there for a little while trying to eat healthy and trying to do just body exercises and stuff, and then it just got to the point where it says, "Man, screw it," I'll do it later, and turn around, and I gained like 15 pounds back, and so and that's when I went back to work for Marquette again and picked right back up where I left off. I was like, have my weights back and in charge of groceries again. Where I could get my healthy stuff on there and just work continuing on. So which
So,
the 5 months that I missed, that was all just an excuse. I could have went and bought bands, and I could have went and brought my own food to the boat. Just another excuse. But I fell off there for about 4 or 5 months, and but I
well,
think it did
what I
me good.
always tell everyone. what I always tell everybody is, look, you can't overstress because life is going to happen. Life is going to throw you curveballs. You know, it's going to throw you a family emergency. It's going to throw you a change in your job. It's going to throw you, you know, some financial difficulty. You know, it's going to throw you a health issue with a family member or even yourself, unexpected. But you know, and you may get off, and usually you probably happened to you before you even really realized it that you know it'd been you know a month, 2, 3 months. The next thing you know, you look over your shoulder. You know, it's 3, 4 months that you've been off. I mean, you didn't just you know throw caution to the wind, but still you were off of your regular consistency. And you know what I try to tell everybody is you just got to take one step. If you take one step and then take the next step and just get back to doing the things that got you the success, you know, one step at a time. So, you know, what would you know, how did you go about getting yourself back on track? Or was it more of just all of a sudden I got my weights, I've got the food, so it's time to go?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I looked, I hadn't weighed myself in a while, and I knew shit wasn't fitting no more. Because I keep everything, clothes that fit and clothes that don't fit go in different piles, and so I knew I was gaining weight, and I got on scales, but I was kind of surprised I'd gained as much back as I did, and but I just remembered the battle that we had already fought, that past year, and I didn't want to go all the way back and start over from scratch, because I remembered. I kind of started thinking, why did I do this? Why did I get started to begin with? It's because of my baby and my wife, and I kind of stopped,
Right.
I need to get back on track. I need to hold that too, 6, 8 months ain't going to make me live forever, and of course, ain't nothing going to make us live forever, you know, um, so it just, yeah, when I got my weights and stuff back, I was able, just right then and there, it all clicked back for me. And, it's all just a timing thing, I guess, with me. But,
Yeah, exactly. So Hank, man, I think we've gotten, you know, a good vision of that. So tell us, what advice would you have to people out there? Because I know a lot of our guys, you know, maybe, you know, I know a lot of people reach out to you, but I hear it on the back end, whether it be, you know, through a direct message or email or text message or someone I'm having a conversation with. You know, I hear it all the time, what an inspiration you are. So, what advice would you have for someone who needed to improve their health, who needed to lose some weight? You know, what advice would you have for them? Because, you know, this is something you have unique experience in, and you've come a long way. I mean, it's been what was 80 pounds in the beginning. Now we moved back a little bit, and we still got a long way to go. And you still have to decide exactly, ultimately, what your ultimate goal is going to be. And I think you're pretty much getting there on deciding where you want to go because it's not all about looking like a stick. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean that may not be you, but it's up to you and what's going to work for you. So give everybody your advice, you know, and what you would have to say to them.
yeah, I don't know, but the whole being an inspiration thing, that still kind of catches me. I just, I, I mean, I talk to everybody, everybody's my friend. I try to get everybody to be my friend. I just, and I, you know, just try to tell her, the steps that I made, the mistakes that I made were, um, and just don't quit. Just keep on, even on your lowest days. Just forget about it. When you wake up the next day, clean slate. That next day, or even if it turns into 2 or 3 days, just don't worry about it. Just move forward after that, and because that's where I would fall off a little bit or do something wrong for 2 or 3 days, and that would turn into 2 or 3 weeks, and I would never get started back. And this time, if I have a bad day, if I don't eat what I'm supposed to, or overeat, or don't exercise or anything like that, then, I don't worry about it. I just go to bed, wake up next morning, let's do this again, or I'm going to do better today than I did yesterday. And that's probably the biggest thing is staying focused that way. And when you do fall off or you do something wrong, don't beat yourself up about it. It's from, I've noticed, I don't, I don't have cheat days or anything, but every now and then I'll have a cheat meal, and when I do, I plan for it. Like you're saying, in the mornings I'll just have some shakes or something, and some fruit or whatever, oatmeal, and won't eat a whole lot. I mean, I'll still eat, but just eat kind of light throughout the day, and try to keep my calorie intake in check, for pretty much. And but it's just pretty much just don't punish yourself too long when you make mistakes.
Yeah, because what will happen is inevitably you'll get into that to where you are punishing yourself, and then it's a continuation. Before you know it, you're just throwing your hands up in the air, pretty much just like fuck it. I messed up yesterday. The whole week's gone, so I might as well just do what I want to do. Whenever really and truly, what you should do is just get up tomorrow morning and start over. Every day is a new day, and you get a second chance every single day.
Yeah, exactly. That's I never thought about it like that. Fresh beginning every day. And to start off with a new point, and but that's the biggest thing is just staying on track. And when you do fall off track, not beat yourself up about it. And always, it don't hurt. Like with me, like when I first started, I had to be real strict because I knew in the past if I started eating the bad stuff, the pizzas or the ice cream or anything like that, that one would turn into 2 meals, 3 meals, and so I had to be real strict for a while. And it's like when I go on the boats, the 4 weeks I'm on the boat, I'm really strict with myself. I weigh everything, I measure everything out. The guys on the boat laugh at me and stuff, but I'm real strict. Like the last time I was on a boat, I think there's only like 5 or 6 meals the entire month that wasn't chicken. I ate chicken breasts and brown rice and vegetables all month long. But when I get home, I don't count my calories. I still try to eat right, and I kind of try to enjoy more meals with the family and stuff like that. And it don't hurt me none because I'm still trying to eat somewhat healthy, and I still get off track. I still try to stay,
Yeah.
on track the best I can. But I don't, it's kind of my break, whatever when I'm at home.
Well, I've always done the same thing. When I'm out to working my 2 week hitch. Of course, I'm on a day boat. I go back and forth every day, but still, I pretty much treat it just like I would be on the boat, aside from I'm sleeping in my own bed. Don't hate on me, guys, okay? But I still treat it just like it's that same routine, and I will eat perfectly the entire 14 days, and then if I'm going to have some type of cheat meal, I don't call it a cheat meal. It's deciding to have something that's, say, off plan. That's how someone else would describe it. Then I'm going to save that for when I'm home. But, it may be a higher calorie meal, but usually I'm so busy when I am home, the calories throughout the day are very low. And then I have room for that high calorie meal. Or I can plan that high calorie meal for either pre workout on my leg day or post workout on my leg day, and it's a wash. So that's a very good point. So Hank, man, I haven't anybody out there. If you got any questions, because we don't have, I think we have just a couple of people in right now. But you have to remember the playback. Um, Going out of here, man, where are you at right now? And where do you see yourself here in the near future? I know you're still trying to decide. I think sometimes our end game, our goal, is kind of like a moving target because, once I get to this point, oh, well, I know I can get to this point. Now I see something else and I can get to that point too. So kind of where are you at right now? Take us out of here with where are you at currently and where you're trying to go.
And I still really don't know, but we got the rest of my life to figure that out. Really, I don't want to be little. I don't. I've always been,
Yeah.
people even before I got really, fat. I was always kind of a big guy. And that's anyway. You there, Jason?
Yeah, I'm
You
here.
hear me,
I'm here.
Jason?
It's cutting out
Okay.
back and forth, but it's okay. We're show must go on.
but I've always been a big guy. Everybody kind of, I was just always a powerhouse. A little short, dude, but I always had, strength and I always had power, and that's I don't want to lose that, and so I don't want to be skinny. I don't want to, just dwindle down to nothing, and so it's really now, I know I got a lot of fat still lose now, and whatever the number is where I can maintain it comfortably, that's where we're going to end up at, because I don't want to starve myself or be miserable trying to live a happy, I want to live life, but I want to live it healthy, and so kind of like my brother-in-law said, whatever number the God, good Lord puts me at, that's where I'll be, and so, and
Well,
I just want to
the
ask.
main thing is to get to a point where not only are you healthy, but you're happy. As long as you're comfortable with yourself, that's all that matters, and being healthy.
Right. Yeah, my blood work. I'll go back 12 for a new checkup and stuff, and so I'll let everybody know what my new numbers and stuff are. But like I said, my blood pressure this morning was 124 over 72, so that's pretty good. And yeah, I feel great. And I called you the other day or yesterday, I guess it was. I was talking about the vitamins and stuff. And I'm waking up, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning with no alarm clock. Kind of pissed me off, but you know, but I'm ready to go. And it's just
Yeah.
I feel really good. My knee still bothers me, but it's always going to be there until I fix it. And but it is what it is. But as far as what my end game is just stay healthy and be around for my family and weigh whatever I weigh. But kind of like I'll let you know, we saw Andy the other day at 275. And I'll rip the fuck up. I was like, yeah, there you go. That'd be nice. That's a big
Well,
fish right
you
there.
saw that Insta story picture where you can see some shadows of abs down there. That's what you saw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
don't
mean,
care. I,
you
I really don't want the little bumpy bumps on my gut. I don't give a shit about that really, but I'd like to get that nice D going. Some big old guns
yeah.
and some badass shoulders and shit. And
Well, I don't know.
uh,
I saw you posted some photos on Instagram not too long ago with that shoulder bent over. You looking pretty swole up yourself. Seems I remember hearing a story about a deckhand telling you were big, like you wanted to whoop somebody or something.
yeah, he came up to me and he asked me. He goes, Captain. He said, why? He said, why do you eat the way you do? He said, you trying to lose weight or what? And I was like, yeah, fucking fat ass. I'm trying to lose weight. And he goes, well, you ain't like fat. He said, like it just shocked him that I was trying to lose weight. It just blew his mind. He said, you're big, but he said, not big like that. He said, you're big like you're going to whoop somebody's ass. and, but it kind of made me feel good for the day. But you're kind of like you said, we're our worst critics sometimes. But,
Yeah, we are. Well, all right, Hank, man. Look, we're gonna get out of here, brother. We've rambled on for about 50 minutes. That's about what we normally do. Now, I wanted to give you a chance to share your story because you have been an inspiration to me. You have become a great friend. I know you have been an inspiration to some of our other members out there, and I wanted you to be able to tell your story because you've worked so hard. You've come so far, and you know what? Just like anybody else, life happens. You had a little bit of a trip up there, but you are back on track now. And, just I would tell you, just like I would tell anybody else out there, and that's exactly what this podcast and the video, the live feed is all about. I would tell anybody out there, life sometimes is going to throw you a curveball. But if you get off track, the most important thing is that you already know you can do it. You've come this far. You've jumped so many hurdles. You already know you can do it, and that's half the battle.
yeah, and I appreciate that. And you've helped me out a lot. You've been instrumental in everything, and my family they've been behind me on everything. My wife, no matter what I choose to do, she supports me, and that's a big help. But you know, as far as like our future plans, what me and you've talked about in private moments and stuff with this group and continuing on with that. And I want to be a big part of that, even once I've, got down where I'm maintaining, and all that, I still want to be a big part of the group and help you, to, do something for others and move forward, in this stuff together, and that's our overall plan. That ain't changed. But,
There you go, brother. All right, man. I'm going to sign out of here. But right before I go, I want to make sure to ask everyone if you support what we do, if you enjoy the services that we're trying to provide, we need your support. We need you to give us a thumbs up on this video. We need you to share the video out. I'm going to take this, turn it into a podcast. And of course, it's also going to end up on YouTube. So as always, guys, we need you to like, share, and subscribe. That helps give us support. That helps us rank higher in search. that would be a huge thing for me. And I would have to say thank you for your support. And thank you, Hank, for coming in here with us. Now, guys, I did a live feed over on the Maritime Throwdown page, and you guys don't forget about the Maritime Throwdown. Now, Hank, I know you can't make it because you're on the boat, but
Right.
I'm giving away $1,000 in cash. Now, see, I got Hank on. He knows I'm serious. I'm going to give $1,000 in cash to whoever can catch the longest distance single part line. And I also anteed up $100 for whoever could send us a video with the longest line caught in next week. And I'll pony up that $100 too if they'll send that over to the Maritime Throwdown page. All right, Hank, we're going to get out of here. I sure appreciate the support, Hank. I know everyone else is going to be appreciative of you coming on the podcast with us, man. I really, really appreciate it, brother. We're going to get out of here. Later.
All right.